Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So look, I haven't made a video for like 4 weeks or so, and I'm sorry for breaking the promise, but I'm back with a new video of legendary Pokemon reveal. Now most of the YouTubers put pictures of them, and it's quite annoying as you don't see the consequences of what they will have. So I'll be the first YouTuber that really explains what legendary Pokemon would do if they were real. And of course, we're going to start with Gen 1. I've had multiple interruptions, I don't know, 2 or 3 while I was making my videos. And then I started making Articuno. And I know it looks like a duck, but Articuno is technically a duck. Come on, Moltres is just a flaming duck. And Zapdos is an electric duck. The legendary Psyducks. Yeah. But anyway, Articuno has webbed feet. With like this, not webbed feet, like claws, but it's very hard doing this. I don't know, it just looks like bare feet. I don't know why, but anyway, so that's what Articuno would look like. Now most likely if he lived in the world, he would probably live in the one and only Himalayan mountains. Come on, everybody has to agree with me on that. I even heard one YouTuber say that if legendary Pokemon were real, they would live in the Himalayan mountains, which is very good. So there you go, we have Everest. Here you go, Everest, right here. Okay. After finishing up Everest, we will now see what would happen with people. So of course people will become obsessed with Articuno. And it was like, oh my god, I wanted Articuno. So they would just go and start catching it and take selfies with it. But of course, Articuno might get ticked off. And I guess you know what happens next. I even have to say it? And I mean really, this is what will happen next. You in an ice cube, that's right. I know that doesn't look much like a human in an ice cube, but come on, it's very hard to draw, especially when my iPad is in like an angle. So with that being said, let's now go on to the next thing. So now I'm also doing my iPhone to see the wiki, and it says right here in the red, in apparently a description, for it is an Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, that it could control ice. So you know what that means? If humans don't stop it, you know what will happen. And you know exactly what will happen. Exactly. And you know what that is, guys? It's the next ice age. That's right. The next ice age with Earth just being frozen in a cube like this. All thanks to this guy. He's smiling, see? So anyway, that's what would happen if Articuno was alive. Very sad, I know. But of course, think of what happens if you actually manage to catch this bird. I mean, you could turn your enemies into ice. You could bring it to school for show and tell. And all those kind of things for an Articuno. Hooray! Next, we have the one of its brothers. And apparently it's Zapdos. Nothing like Zapdos, am I right? And also, one more thing, Pokemon Go is a very popular app. And I saw that Articuno is the mascot for Team Mystic, I think? Yeah. It's Zapdos for Team Instinct, and Moltres for Team Valor. But let's move on to Zapdos. The Zapdos. Now, surprisingly, on a piece of paper, I could draw Zapdos pretty well. But on my iPad, I'll probably draw it very bad. Okay, I'm going to draw an eye. Here's Zapdos' eye. I'm gonna have his beak. Okay, draw his body. Make some wigs. That's what I call his wigs. Oh, come on, you have to give me credit, guys. Okay. I know this may look embarrassing, and you may laugh all you want. Yay, Zapdos, hooray, Zapdos, hooray. So nothing like Zapdos, really. Zapdos is like the second bird of the legendary trio. Not legendary trio, the legendary birds, but that's Zapdos. Played Zapdos. Okay. So anyway, in the wiki it said that Zapdos lives at thunderstorms. So meanwhile it's raining to your house, you might as well see a Zapdos while you're at it. By the way, it also says, I think Diamond and Pearl, that Zapdos could control electricity. So I think you know what else will happen. Just lightning, more lightning. And Zapdos may also be responsible for tornadoes and hurricanes. Yay! All those 3 things are thanks to this bird. Congratulate him. Congratulate him if you don't want your head blown off. Okay, so next off is... Oh yes, those Zapdos. But anyway, that's what basically Zapdos is. And like I said, in Pokemon Go Team Instinct, Zapdos is the mascot. And I don't know why, but my friend once said that Articuno and Zapdos were always the butt of the jokes. And that Moltres was the highest. But, hey, it's just my friend's idea. But still, that's Zapdos. Hooray! And now we finally got to the bird that you all wanted to see. Of course, the one and only Moltres. Yay! And you guys might be cheering. Okay. Okay, so here's how I draw Moltres. I draw it best on a piece of paper, I told you. I think this might actually be good in the iPad. Okay, so far so good. Gotta make his body. Damn it. I did not make his body that well, did I? Now it's time for wings. Wing. Well, Moltres is kind of the easiest of the 3 birds to draw. With Zapdos being the hardest. Now let's just draw some fire. Flaming wings. That's from Pokemon physics. The flaming wings. There you go. You have a Moltres. Hooray. So here's what would happen if Earth had Moltres. Now right away you know what would happen. Global warming. Moltres cause a global warming. Moltres cause a global extinction. Here you go. Earth. Hooray! Water? Oh no! And Moltres would be cheering from outer space. How can I say that? Meanwhile, you guys will be drawing. Okay, so... But don't take Moltres all as a bad bird. If Moltres did not cause global warming because of Pokemon logic, then he's actually a pretty good opponent to have on your team. And I bet like criminals would use it. That's the only explanation I could say. Although for Luigi on the other hand, firefighters would use it. But Moltres, it would just light the whole thing on fire. So not a good idea. But still, that's would be Moltres. People, that's Moltres. Here you go. Now it's Mewtwo. Good old Mewtwo. And by the way, I'm gonna do Gen 1 and Gen 2 for this video, okay? All the other gens I'm gonna do Gen 3, Gen 4 in a different video, and Gen 5 and Gen 6 in a different video. So you get the idea. So I'm guessing we're about halfway done here. Okay, next up is, yeah, like I said, Mewtwo. So we draw Mewtwo, little face. I'm not trying to draw Mew here. I'm trying to draw his brother, Mewtwo. Okay, here you go. That's Mewtwo. Draw his hand. Other hand. Foot. Here's your foot. Other foot. And then you finally have the beautiful pink tail. There. Now you have a Mewtwo. And that's my Mewtwo. It's beautiful. It looks like a mouse, but it's my Mewtwo. Mewtwo, the awesome mouse. But seriously, Mewtwo is kind of a cat. And is the evolved form of Mew. One of the few Pokemon I saw that had that has 2 Mega Evolutions for X and Y. And also, not only that, but think of Mewtwo being so awesome. I mean, Mewtwo was created by humans, sure. And he was genetically engineered, which is unique for Mewtwo. And well, as you see from his moves in a link in a video that where there were legendary Pokemon moves, Pokemon was better than ever. And of course we have Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y. And I'm not gonna even bother to draw those two because you guys would just laugh at me. I mean, look at Mewtwo already. He's enough of an embarrassment. So yeah, Mewtwo X and Y. So anyway, and oh yeah, one more thing. If Mewtwo is bad, he would destroy all of humanity. If Mewtwo is good, you can have him as the most OP Pokemon on your team. So yeah, go Mewtwo, hooray! So, congrats you guys, we completed Gen 1. Only 5 more to go. Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, I'm going to cover them all in this section. Because they are kind of similar to the legendary birds a little bit. Except they are legendary dogs instead. That's the only difference that makes them. But legendary cats, maybe cogs, maybe. Or dats, but okay. So look, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune are the 3 legendary beasts, recirculated by a bird named Ho-Oh, like Santa, and it's not really Santa, but anyway, I'm just gonna try to draw them the best I can, and I'm gonna try to draw them really fast. Okay, I'm currently drawing Raikou. Currently drawing his body. Paws. Don't forget about the claws. Then you have the tail. Then you have the ears. There you go. You have a Raikou. Now Entei. Entei is really hard to draw. But if you have perfect timing like me, you can draw it beautifully. Beautifully, I tell you. Oh. Okay. Mask. Eyes. I know, he kind of looks like a lab man right now, but okay. Okay, body. Pause. More pause. That's an Entei right here. Well, actually, one last thing I forgot to put. Okay, now you have an Entei. And finally, Suicune. Nothing like a Suicune. And Suicune kind of looks like the derpiest of them all. Damn, there, you have a Suicune. Don't blame me. I was bad at art. So there you go. You had the 3 legendary beasts. One is Raikou, one is Entei, and one is Suicune. Hooray. S. Okay, here we go. Those are the 3. Okay, so look what will happen. Raikou would basically make all the tigers fear him. And would probably eat all the tigers. We don't know why, but he would. What Entei would do is actually quite interesting. Entei, since he's the master of kind of eruptions, I'm pretty sure, as he has attacks called Eruption and Sacred Fire and those things. What I think is going to happen is that Entei is going to erupt all the volcanoes in the world at the same time. That is, if he gets ticked off. And he would probably explode Mount St. Helens, the mountain in Hawaii, and especially the Yellowstone National Park mountain, which is very explodey boom. So yeah, then the world will be like a fire thing. And Suicune, what will Suicune do? I don't know. How about shoot an ice ray through across the world, hitting anything in its path? And I'm thinking whenever it sneezes, an ice ray will come out of its nose. So this is what would basically happen. Our world as we know it will now be this. Hooray! Here's our beautiful continents. More of our beautiful continents. Then more of our beautiful continents. More. And that's an Earth. Okay? Now we have Raikou. Nothing happens. Entei. And oh yeah, by the way, the water will now be mostly fire. So yeah. And what about Suicune? We can't forget about Suicune. There's a reason why the Earth will still have water. Suicune will battle Entei. And of course, since water would beat fire, as that's Pokemon logic, then the world will go back to being an ocean. Hooray! And Entei would be pissed off. When that happens, Entei would explode more volcanoes. And the battle will continue forever and ever. But Suicune will win always. Because Suicune likes humanity. Hooray. And Entei doesn't. Because he's a mad scientist. Okay. Now we have the final two I'm going to discuss today. And that is Ho-Oh and Lugia. Ho-Oh is this guy. Body. Okay, now I'm going to draw his yellow wings. More yellow wings. Yellow feet. Yellow feet. And oh yeah, there's one more thing I have to draw on his head. This, and this. Okay, now we have Entei. And then there's Lugia. Can't wait to draw Lugia. Because I think I'm pretty good at drawing Lugia. It's kind of like a Stegosaurus, I think. Okay. Like this. Then just draw his eyes. Like this. There. Now just draw its mouth. It's like as if it's dying or something. Okay, then just draw its body. Okay, now we have a Lugia. Draw wings. Wings. And, oh yeah, I had to draw that brown. Claws. Claws. So there you go. We have a Ho-Oh and a Lugia. Hooray! So look, Ho-Oh and Lugia would basically do this. Ho-Oh, if it depends on his mood. He really he would resurrect almost all the resurrected almost all the people in the world. This is because, well, it said that Ho-Oh would revive the three legendary beasts, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. And I mean, come on, this is true from the wiki. Meanwhile, Lugia, now we have something. Lugia's master of the sea. When it sees any cruise ship, what happens? Bam! You're not in my ocean. Bam! The cruise ship explodes. Lugia gets ticked off of any metallic object in the sea. That's when they'll ban cruise ships from in the oceans anywhere, so no more Caribbean cruises. And then you have to fly by plane to your next destination. So basically from these two, here's what will happen. States. Okay, Earth. Ready? Gray zombies. But at least you could have your grandfather revived or great-grandfather revived. So that's pretty good. For example, my grandfather died just a few months ago. I would love him to be resurrected, but not as a zombie, of course, though. So this is what would happen. And then for cruise ship routes, guess what? Kapig explosion. So yeah, all of this explosion by you know who, yours truly. Meanwhile, zombies by him. So yeah, those two have normal faces. At least Lugia feels guilty based on his face, but Ho-Oh is just looking at you normally. You are weird, Ho-Oh. Okay, so here's what the Earth would be totally like after like Gen 1 and Gen 2 are coming. Let's draw North America, Central America, South America, Asia, Africa, Europe, and then you have the poles. Nothing like that, isn't it? So like I reviewed, Articuno would be living in the Himalayan mountains. and turn anyone, and like I said, will turn the world into an ice age. So yeah, the world would be very cold indeed. Zapdos, on the other end, will travel through thunderstorms. And since there's thunderstorms everywhere and cause hurricanes, if Zapdos came, hurricanes would be up by like a million gajillion times. But then again, that might be... But I think that would be Zapdos and Moltres' fault. Meanwhile, for Moltres, would cause global warming. But it would battle Articuno's global freezing. And of course, you know what would happen? Water beats fire, freezing winds. So the world keeps on being an ice age. Hooray. And don't you worry, it's not going to be that bad. It's going to be only, I don't know, maybe about minus 20 Fahrenheit. So come on, you keep wearing your jackets and you'll be okay. So anyway, Mewtwo on the other end. Number one, humanity is all dead. Like this. Like this dead. So yeah. Okay. Now that's for Gen 1. Oh yeah. And Mewtwo can be nice. And he will spare humanity. And everybody would say, oh, do you have a Mewtwo? Yeah. So then Mewtwo would be on the news. Hooray for Mewtwo. Mewtwo would be so popular that everybody loves him. And yeah, that's what. So Mewtwo would be so popular, everybody would love him. Hooray! The end. For Mewtwo, that is. Gen 2, Raikou, not really that big of a difference. Entei, like I said, eruptions, but then again, Suicune. So Suicune and Entei would battle it out. Well, so yeah, and they would eventually stop battling and keep their distances. With Entei being in Florida because he likes being in Florida. Meanwhile, Suicune would just hang out with Articuno for a while, just like Moltres would hang out with Entei. And finally, you have two more to go. Lugia and Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh, like I said, zombie apocalypse and everything like that. Meanwhile, Lugia, like I said, would destroy any cruise ship. So this would be your world after Gen 1 and Gen 2 Pokemon were real. So yeah, that is Gen 1 and Gen 2, you guys. Hope you really liked the video and hope you subscribe to my channel. And I'm sorry for my videos being a little bit long. And I'm really sorry for it being so long. And I promise I'm going to try to make my video shorter. Maybe 10 minutes at max for regular occasions. I would only do these kind of thing 23 minutes for like special occasions. Okay, you guys? So I hope you like Gen 1 and Gen 2. Gen 3 and Gen 4 will come out soon. With all of you fans of Dialga and Palkia or Geraldo the Kyogre, you'll be sure to see another video. Thank you all. Please leave a like and subscribe. Bye!